Hi, this is Ivan Donchevsky, the author of Procedural Environment Generator plugin. Today I want to continue the tutorial cycle and show you some features which were not present in the last one. So right now we have version 8.4 of the plugin, and during last year there were some new features implemented. I want to show you how they work. They are pretty cool, I believe. They may help you to see how the generation works and to follow some simple steps to debug your generator, to see which connectors are placed and so on. So to start with, I've opened WFC level from the plugin demo content level, and instead of the unlimited example which is used there, I've put actor with blueprint, also from demo content. So let's see. So first of all, the generation step by step has changed since the version 6, and you can now see it directly in editor, which I believe is more convenient. You don't need to start the game. So for it to work, you need to select show collapse during generation checkbox and set the delay which you want. This is quite a small one, I believe, but we can make it even smaller. So it's in seconds. In this case, when we press generate in editor, you will see the process of generation right here. And in output log, you can see what's happening. Yeah, all the settings and the setup is quite the same as in previous version. I will show you some slight changes there a bit later. And now let's see what else you can do in generator. You can also press some buttons and collapse or undo steps manually. So in advanced options of generator, you can see next button. So when you press it, you see that generator just gives you next steps. Undo, do what you expect from it. Also, there is another feature which can bring you even more freedom in terms of what you want to generate and how you want to deal with the level. When you already have some pieces of level generated, you can enable placeholders. They slow things quite a bit because they need to be rendered and calculated again and again. So where's the checkbox? Let's see. Show placeholders. Alright, here's a set of placeholders. And with them, you can actually remove already collapsed elements, for example. So in order to select the placeholder that you need, you may click on the element and you will see which placeholder belongs to it. So this one in this case. Placeholder has buttons collapse, remove, where you can select special element or random. Random is just what algorithm picks for you, which means the available options. But we right now have already collapsed element in this position, so we can remove it. Alright, it's removed. Then we can select another placeholder, like this one, and press collapse for it. Alright, so it collapsed this element for you, and you can then also combine these approaches. You can disable placeholders so process takes a bit faster. Okay, and then press next. Yeah, again and again. Yeah, so you get your level generated step by step this way. You can also adjust some settings for this next and undo buttons by changing these values. For example, you can collapse 10 steps in one button press. Yeah, so here's how it works. Yeah. So I believe this is really helpful if you don't know the rules yet and want to experiment to see how generator generates stuff for you. All right. Now let's look a bit closer what has changed in the setup for your rules, for your components, and things like that. For this, I will open another example, which is not in demo content, but it's very similar. It's a bit remade demo content with some additional notes which I added myself. Okay, I have test actor, which has some settings preset for us to be shown in this tutorial. The most interesting one is this platform, which occupies more space than just a general element. So you see the basic voxel looks like this here, and the platform is bigger. You can set the size. It has X, Y set to 2, and you can select them separately in Blueprint Editor if you want to. This selection allows you to select child elements, and you can set connectors for them separately. You don't need to set inner connectors, by the way, because the algorithm picks them for you automatically. So these different parts mean actually different elements of your grid, but they would be connected automatically for you in this block, so you will never have these elements placed without being sure that they have proper connection to each other. What else is new? You can actually now select several connectors for one direction. So let's see. This one has x plus equal to 2, and this one has x plus equal 7. Let's now break it a bit, and for passage crossing, which is this one, let's set x plus to 2 values at once. Yeah, so now you see that it may have several connector values. They could be not only numbers but also strings, but the separator is comma, and all white spaces are trimmed if you enter them in a row. So you see how it broke? Now this platform can also connect to that one, which is not true. It shouldn't happen, but for experiment I just wanted to show you that you can do that. You can select multiple connectors for one side. Be careful with it, because you need to understand what you're doing. Alright. Apart from that, UI has changed a bit for generator. So in order to, let's open again the example that I had before. It's this level. Don't save, okay. This actor. We don't need this one. So what else has changed here? The fixed components, they have changed a bit. So here they are. We have now two lists, one with already set components We probably need a bit more space, yeah, so we can see them. And then the new list, you can change the new list the way you want, and it won't affect the current state of your generator. And when you want the settings to be taken into account, you need to press this button to update. Why it was done that way? You see, you have already these fixed components shown, even when you press clean generated. It's the initial state, and fixed components are taken into account in the initial state. That's kind of cool and great to have, but when you make your new settings, you want this untouched until you actually finished with it. There is also another way of setting fixed components, and it could be done via placeholders. So we need to show them again here. So you can, for example, select this one and go to the list, and then for example, select another floor and add it to fixed components. You see it's now in the list as well. We can experiment a bit with it. So here's the list. It got 11 elements instead of 10 right now. Be careful, because this action reneeds the model, and yeah, basically if you have something generated already, it will be reset. So it's more of a thing when you just set your initial setup, which is fixed, which will never change, and you know that your level will be later on generated around this pre-selected components. So here, for example, you see the whole border is added to fixed components, which is basically the more advanced version of setting floor or walls or air surrounding and so on. So you see there are plenty of empty ranges here, where -1, which this is actually important and not straightforward to some people. -1 means that it should end till the end, till the size of the dimension, which is Z here, Y here, and X here. And it's very convenient to use if you plan to change the size of your generation of your level. Yeah. So I think that's mostly it. Everything else remains quite the same. There is still the ability to generate in progress, to do that in runtime. There are similar functions in Blueprint which could be used the same way. Yeah. So again, the most part goes to this panel, which allows you to experiment, to placeholders, which allow you to make some customization without setting numbers on your own. So I believe this is easier than just go into numbers and putting them there. One more convenient thing which you can do with this panel is you can, let's turn off the placeholders for now. You can start generating from here, put some number of tiles, Also, you can enable placeholders and collapse something. And then you can press generate in editor and it will continue from this point. In general, it should also be possible to pause the generation and edit something in the middle of this process. But there is right now no UI for it, so it's, I would say, in my plans. I think I can add this option, add this ability, so it could be some button to pause generation here. I believe that might also be helpful for some of you, but the existing functionality is quite enough for testing, for debugging, as I mentioned before. So thank you so much for listening to me again. Let me know if you need some different feature, because a couple of those which I mentioned right now were implemented by your request in Discord, so I'm ready to listen to what you want. Welcome, and yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Bye.